and the priority is to enjoy your trip, even if you want to save your money, because having fun in your trip is the most important thing. Yeah, and also you have to understand your own country before you go for a trip. For example, I often bump into a question. For example, Republic of France. Which country is that? Republic of France. Which France, right? Okay, then they will ask. So why Republic of China is not China? Yeah, that's hard, right? So you have to explain the history of Taiwan to them in simple words. Yeah, you can think about it before you go on the trip. Okay, so what did I learn from the trips? I learned the differences. These were the pictures I took in Pattaya. And I was so shocked to see so many prostitutes along the street. So, because for me it was so sad. I never see such a scene that so many prostitutes, so many young women are earning money by this way. So afterwards, I did a report in Graduate Institute about the sex tourism in Thailand, and I found that 12% of the GDP are from sex tourism. It's not only from the sex itself, it's also from the transportation, the accommodation included in the tourism. So that's why it's so hard for the Thai government to deal with this problem. Yeah, and also you will treasure 7-Eleven so much after you go back to Taiwan. It's so convenient in Taiwan. And also, their mindset is quite different from ours. For example, when I was in Poland for the volunteer, the work camp, and there were two German girls. They were there for their gap year, but it's still not that popular in Taiwan, but it's already a popular idea in Germany or in Europe. And also I learned, whoa, where is my trust? Okay, I learned trust. There is one point at the bottom that says trust. Okay, why trust? For example, I did hitchhike, and also I stayed in strangers' couch surfing, and without trust, I couldn't do this. So, well, you have to be careful, but also you have to trust others, so that you can have a fun trip. Okay, so last words. Look for opportunities, and when you find one, just do it. Okay, thank you.
And now we'll invite Emily to come here to share her international participation. And then after her presentation, and we will have a Q&A time. Okay, so let's start. And give her a big clap. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm Emily Chan from the Department of Accounting. I was junior in the management department, and now I'm going to talk about what did I get after my trips. First of all, I came from a pretty financially deprived family, which is I'm poor. So, on the other hand, I don't really have that much experience with that much extra energy other than my studies to plan for my trips, or I don't really have a lot of I won't really spare my free time for planning. I'm not a person of pre-scheduling, so I go on set trips, or in other ways sponsored trips to do certificate specific missions, and when the mission accomplished in foreign countries, then actually you don't have to pay for a penny. So a little bit about my self-introduction. a lot of people ask questions about my nationality, but actually I'm authentic Taiwanese. It's so to say. And for my childhood experience, people thought that I've been living in foreign countries a lot, but actually I've only been to the States for a summer because my mom had a huge fight with my dad during that summer, and it was when I was 6, and I didn't do like practically anything despite the fact that I went to Disneyland, Universal Studios, and places like that. And when I was 10, my mom has another fight with my dad, so my mom took me and my sister to Canada for 11 days until my dad called us back. Alright, so that's all for my childhood experience. And until the graduation of high school, alright, I'm gonna get back to this. Until the graduation of my high school, I went to South Africa. So, to begin with my travels, my travel mates include those like cushions for pillows for long flights, because I've always taken economy class for like 16 or 17 hours of flights. And then the travel must that I'll bring is the preparation for languages. I went to India and I studied Hindi like my head off during my freshman year. For like the last 2 months I've been digging in Hindi instead of accounting. And for Siswati, in preparation of going to Swaziland, I bought this like Lango City. I ordered it on Amazon, and then I just practiced Siswati every day, and then try to like cram myself. Like, for example, people are saying hi or how are you, and I would like imagining in Siswati that would be Sawubona Wunjani, stuff like that. So just to put myself into that environment. And then for history, I would prepare like things like the background, like geographic facts or like historical facts that the local country has, or just and also to establish local context in case you have an emergency or loss of passport or huge big amounts of cash. Then I would go for this local contact. I would be like Facebooking events, even though that I don't know like anything about them, and then we'll sort of like have this like really vague bound between us, and that will be like Facebooking like where I have been like today, and until I leave the country I will like cut out the bound because I don't need them anymore. No, not of that. Alright. So my first trip is on my graduations for South Africa. It's a fairly short one, and it's entirely sponsored by Cathay Pacific Airline. And during this over a week-long session, we went to South Africa and we stayed in these like natural preserves for Zulu people. Zulu people are those people who goes into the sea and then spear in the middle of the sea like this one, and they'll like establish fences. So they're completely living on their own. There's no electricity, no tap water, and it was during winter because it's like northern hemisphere is for summer, and then southern hemisphere would be winter, like seriously cold winter. And then it would be like below 0 degree in the night, and you don't have like heated water or natural heat, so it would be like seriously deprived, but primitive. Alright, so this program, just for an introduction, this program has been for over 14 years, and after the financial tsunami they decided to close it down, so it's a sad thing. But over the past 14 years they've been sending lots of students to South Africa. And for my year we were living in the middle of the lake, like a small island, and we have to commute by boat like every day. And it's like our harbor when finally after the like 20 minutes boat ride, then you finally get to this small island. And every delegates are staying in these huts like this. And for winter, it was their dry season, so it normally doesn't rain. But during our last 2 days, it rained like hell, and we had to collect like buckets and leaves to like repair the roof because there was like dripping every day, and we hardly had to sleep. But the last 2 days, you don't really have to sleep though. And there were like 30 of us, some from mostly from Asian and 8 from South Africa. And then so every day we have to prepare lunch and dinner from different countries. For today we have the Cantonese delegates cooking their like Cantonese food. I don't really tell much difference from Cantonese food in the restaurant or between theirs, because they're like really authentic. And for Taiwanese, we prepare mi fen. And it was supposed to be pan-fried mi fen, but somehow we put too much oil, so it became like deep-fried mi fen. But that was good. The South Africans liked it. And the Asians were like, shut up. So in South Africa, we're living in this natural reserve, and it's extremely primitive. You can see wildlife every day. And for example, we're living in the for the last slide, we're living in the middle of the lake in this tiny island, and it's abandoned. It's not allowed for you to go out in the fields. Like there are like around three basketball court sized fields around our hut, and then these huts are the hippos' grass food for the night. So it's forbidden for us to like go out in the night, or else the hippos will spot you and the humans will like. Actually, the both parties will be harmed, I guess, because the hippo might be petrified in the end. And this one is the impala. Is one of the big 5s in South Africa. They're like lions, rhinos, leopard. I don't know why it's leopard, but not puma or cheetah, but I don't know. And this one is Nyala. Some local people made it into, it's one of the goats, famous goats in South Africa, and some people make it into biltong. It's those dried meat, chewy gum, and I would imagine because Nyala runs for like every day, and it will be like definitely chewy. And then every day during our commutes to different spots, we've been to like the bushes, we've been to like the coastline, or the high mountain, or like the seas, or across the island mostly, or to the safari parks. We were mostly commuted by this like huge cart. These carts are over for transportations every day. They don't really have like regular cars like those one in Taiwan, and not to mention Mercedes or BMWs. Those are like, you cannot see that in like South Africa. So we are in this Toyota cargo shipper and every day. And then it wouldn't be much long because we're living in this island, and across the island will be this coastline. And this will be Indian Ocean, but nobody can ever enter it because South African's government put like for the reserve, there's only the Aborigine people can like enter these fields. And then of course we took on safari trips, things like that. And I would really recommend South Africa because their efforts and devoted and like preserving natures, because you can see like street signs along the way saying that like dung beetles have the way, lions have the way, and everything. And actually the animals are living about the same standards as humans. Sometimes humans starve, but animals don't, because they have like laws, protections over them. So for animals, it's really nice to live in South Africa. And the second one would be Global Youth Institute. It's a program conducted by Thomas Forrest Ring. He's a teacher